Tonight, Robin Gill.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with a staggering look at the state of Canada's labor market. The impact of the COVID-19 shutdown has led to some of the worst unemployment numbers in this country's history. Nearly 2 million people lost their jobs in April. That's a record. And that's on top of the more than 1 million people put out of work in March. Canada's jobless rate has soared to 13%. Temporary layoffs account for nearly all of the job losses. Women are still the most affected, but the gender gap narrowed in April. Provinces are slowly reopening their economies, but as Abigail Bimman reports, it will take time to recover.
Sarah Turner is spending more time with her son, Teo. She's one of millions who lost her job due to COVID-19, now getting the Canada Emergency Response Benefit.
It's been fairly seamless, yeah, and hopefully at some point soon I'll be back at work. But in the interim, I'm staying at home.
Turner says it's hard to wrap her head around the statistics. Another 2 million jobs lost in April, millions more having hours or salaries slashed. She's a coffee shop cook, part of the service industry hit first and hit hard. The April numbers show the losses spread to goods-producing sectors, construction, manufacturing.
These numbers are historic. We've not seen anything like this, not in the last Great Recession we had, and not in the Great Depression of the 1930s. Only half of Canadians are now at work.
Professor Miles Korak says consumer confidence and how well we handle the pandemic are big factors in determining how the economy bounces back.
We flipped around entirely from a high-pressure, high-demand, high-work economy to a low-work and stalled economy just in 2 months.
The Prime Minister now promising the wage subsidy will be extended past the original June date. Justin Trudeau says as people slowly head back to work, that will be used more than the emergency response benefit.
To businesses hit by COVID-19, know this: the wage subsidy will continue to be there for you to help you keep your employees on the payroll.
Like many, Turner is anxious to get back on the job.
I guess we'll just wait and see what happens, because the day-to-day interaction with customers was always one of the highlights of my job, so it will definitely be different.
With provinces rolling out gradual reopening plans, so many Canadians are expecting to be back on the job, as different as it may look, in the next few months. But experts say whether they stay there is a different question, and it's a waiting game to find out whether these huge losses are temporary after all. Robin?
Abigail Bimman in Ottawa. In the U.S., today's unemployment numbers are the most grim in history. Over 20 million people lost their jobs in April. That's more than 10 times the previous record set in 1945 after the Second World War ended. As Jennifer Johnson reports, many families are now struggling to get food on the table.
The U.S. Labor Department is reporting staggering job losses in April. 20.5 million Americans forced out of work, the greatest monthly job loss in history, as the COVID-19 pandemic strangles America's economy. And White House officials have no idea when businesses may start to rebound.
I don't want to give anybody a false sense of anything. I mean, I say with great humility and deference, you know, these are heartbreaking numbers.
America's unemployment rate now stands at 14.7%, a level not seen since the Great Depression. Over 33 million people have lost their jobs since the pandemic started. The virus has forced businesses, small and large, to close, some permanently.
I really don't know how I'll get by, how I'll be able to buy groceries.
A concern millions share. A new Brookings Institute study shows nearly 1 in 5 American mothers are reporting their children aren't getting enough to eat.
It's a lot. I'm a single parent. I have a mortgage. I have a car note. So you kind of think, like, what's priority right now? Do I pay my mortgage or do I go grocery shopping?
Across the country, food banks are overwhelmed. People forced to wait for several hours to get free food.
We've never seen anything like this.
Congress has not yet taken up a second economic stimulus bill. Lawmakers are divided about passing another massive bailout package.
We've already spent, close to $3 trillion. We've got to understand somebody's going to pay that. Our kids, our grandkids.
Congress has temporarily bailed out the airline industry through the end of September. Airline officials warn if people don't start flying again, tens of thousands will be laid off in October.
we are going to have to make some decisions to reduce the size of our airline and to reduce the cost that we're paying.
Even with most states starting to reopen, Americans are reluctant to leave their homes. The fear of COVID-19 crushing America's confidence and its economy. Jennifer Johnson, Global News, Washington.
There's so much information surrounding coronavirus out there now. We know you have questions. Email your questions at globalnews.ca. Tune in to Global National or go to globalnews.ca/coronavirus now to find the answers.